As a creation evidence museum, we look for tangible evidence to support the Bible. Now, the Bible doesn't need any support, but our generation needs the evidence. We're just kind of like that. The Bible stands alone. But we're so glad there is evidence for that. Billy's going to take you to Israel in a slide presentation, which is the introduction to the main lecture, and is going to show you how God could feed and water 2 million hungry Jews. Would you welcome Dr. Billy Caldwell? Get your mic. Get your mic.
Well, thank you. Because we have a lot of things today in the presentation, but what we want to show you is the fact that this Negev area is south of the Dead Sea. It's the desert area. It's the wilderness where they spent the 40 years in the wilderness. They certainly were subjected to a lot of hostile areas, and God had to feed them. And so as we look at this area, it was so rustic and such a very vague area that we had to have this special truck that took us over into the Negev, because we were going to spend the night where the children of Israel spent 40 years in the wilderness. And we could just get a feel for what it would be like. So we took that very heavy truck. And this is the truck, and this is the next morning. And we camped out, and my wife had worried so much about the vipers. I told Carolyn that's where the vipers were that were mentioned in the Bible. And she worried all and out about the vipers, that they might bite her. But I guarantee it was so cold that night that we didn't have to worry about any vipers. And this is the next morning that you can see that we're sitting there. I'm in the green coat there, and how desolate that area is. And we had to have some way, some Johnny on the spots and so forth, some restroom, because I saw some people trying to go out, especially men, trying to find some bushes. And I guarantee there was nothing half the distance of your knee. Everything was smaller, lower than your knee, so there was nothing to hide behind. So we needed these restrooms, and this was very, very important. And you can see the line, and I see David Bassett with a black coat on that's sitting there in that line. And I wanted you to see that this is a valley where they spent those 40 years. It was the only valley in the whole area that wasn't real rustic and that they could live in an area. You can see those Johnny-on-the-spot restrooms. This is where we camped out. And that valley has an intermittent stream that you see where the green is. And that they spent those 40 years in that area, protected in that basin, which is, say, about 2 or 3 miles across, maybe 10 miles long. And it has been discovered that it's the only area there that could have occurred. And we did some hiking in the area, looking around for artifacts, and we found the remains of an ancient worship area that was there. But look how desolate, and look at right across the middle there where the greenery is. That's where the intermittent stream is. An intermittent stream is a stream that runs when it rains, and that's the only time. And so that you'll see later on that that's what God used in order to let them have water. And this is some of the 12 stones that they used there in one of their little worship areas that were brought for the 12 tribes. And this is some of the hiking areas that we hiked up there. And this is one spot there that my knee was giving out on me, and Carol and I just stopped. I said, that's as far as we can go. And as you get older, there comes a time you just say, that's it. But the young people went on up into the area.